Hello and welcome to Watch Releases Recap for the week of July 14th to July 21st. Let's begin with Bulova and their new model called Jetstar. This model is actually a reintroduction of their 1970s model by the same name. If you look at the case shape, you can clearly see 1970s design inspiration. It has this sort of turtle style case where the watch has a 40mm case diameter, but it kind of disappears on the wrist. It wears closer to the 38-39mm. This one here is powered by the quartz precisionist movement. It's not one of the cheapo quartz movements that you just don't even want to have on your wrist. This is one of the good ones. It actually ticks at, I believe, 16 ticks per second, so it has a very nice and smooth appearance to the seconds hand. It's not that annoying 1 second at a time. It is also a very accurate movement, as the name would suggest, precisionist. I believe the accuracy is plus or minus 5 seconds per month, which is very good. This model will be available in 3 different color variations, one of them being a limited edition, the silver dial version. That's actually my least favorite version, so I'm not too mad about that one being a limited edition. The other 2 are non-limited editions. The golden case and dial version is not a limited edition, and this red dial version is also non-limited edition. It's actually my favorite out of the 3. If it weren't for the quartz movement, even though the movement itself is really nice, but for $600, that's the retail price for the non-limited edition watches and $700 for the limited edition one, I'm expecting an automatic movement. On top of that, the original Jetstar had an automatic movement, because clearly this watch is targeted towards watch enthusiasts. I don't think a lot of general public will care about this reissue. So if you're targeting watch enthusiasts, why not include an automatic movement instead of the quartz one? But hey, that's just my take on things. Moving on, Garrick Regulator MK2. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I knew what the hell this company was. Garrick. Apparently it's a British independent watch company and they produce a few watches per year. This is one of their new models. It's called Regulator MK2. The reason why I wanted to highlight this brand is because I had no idea it existed. Admittedly, these type of watches are not exactly my cup of tea, but I like that these watch companies exist. It really reminds me of early days of watchmaking when you had a bunch of different independent watch companies trying to put together their movements and put together their cases and dials from spare parts of different watch companies and other watch movements to create something of their own. And that's kind of what's happening here. I'm not saying that these guys are using scraps from other companies. In fact, I believe a lot of the stuff is made in-house, including this movement. By the way, the time telling is very cool. It's kind of split up into 3 different sub-dials, so to speak. The sub-dial by the 10 o'clock, that's the seconds timekeeping. The sub-dial by the 3 o'clock, that's for the hours timekeeping. And then you have main hand for the minutes. Plus you have this balance wheel ticking sort of at the 6 o'clock position. Very interesting way to tell time. Even looking at the case back, it's a see-through or transparent case back displaying the movement. It's a very interesting watch and in my opinion not even that expensive. I believe it's about 13,000 British pounds, which is a lot of money, of course. But for these sort of independent brands, it's not too bad, and it's competing with a lot of other much more well-known brands that don't offer as much hand finishing and as much attention to detail as something like this would. I just thought it was something worth highlighting. New Casio Oceanus Monta watch models with a sapphire bezel. Oceanus is a sub-brand of Casio. Think of it as the Grand Seiko to Seiko. Oceanus is the more high-end version of Casio. A lot of people that get their hands on these watches say that they're really good quality, competing against watches in a much higher price bracket. These Oceanus models used to be only for Japanese domestic market. In 2020 or 2021, I believe they introduced them to US, and now they're introducing more and more different models. So these watches are powered by the very interesting movement. It's actually a solar powered movement that also has a Bluetooth signal that you can sync with the app on your phone for ultimate accuracy. There is a chronograph, there is a 24 hours indicator, there is a day-date complication, there's a bunch of different things going on with this watch. It's a very interesting timepiece, very technical, yet it still has that analog look. So the Oceanus brand expanded with 3 new models. Some of them are limited release, some of them aren't. So the limited release ones are the ones with a sapphire bezel. Very interesting look. I can't say it's exactly for me. I don't know who this look is for, but it is interesting. You gotta admit that. I haven't seen something like that on a watch ever, I don't think. The other ones, the ones with the more traditional bezel, are also sapphire bezels, but these ones have the tachymeter scale on them, so they have a more traditional look. The one thing that I'm not too happy about with this release is the price tag. So the limited release one is only 350 examples. Getting one of these is probably going to be impossible. They're probably already all sold out, and the price for them was $2,400 US. Quite a bit of money. The other limited release model is to 1,500 copies, and this one costs $1,400 US. Still very expensive. I think this one would be a little bit easier to get. And then the other non-limited release model is around $1,300 US. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's too much for this watch, at least from what I'm seeing, from my personal opinion. Let me know what you think. Is this watch worth $1,300? Always curious to hear other people's points of view. And lastly, let's talk about the last release. In this case, it's not actually a watch release, it's a news release. The fact that Cristiano Ronaldo has invested in Chrono 24. I wanted to take a minute to highlight this news because I think it's sort of an important news and it's very exemplary of what's going on in the watch market in 2023. I think watch market is becoming a lot more mainstream. More and more people are getting into watches, and the same thing here with celebrities and celebrity endorsements. That's been happening for a long time in the watch industry. Specific watch brands associate themselves with specific celebrities. It's a very common thing to do for luxury brands. But here, something else is happening. You have a figure like Cristiano Ronaldo actually investing into a website like Chrono 24, and Chrono 24, if you don't know, is a reseller of watches. It's sort of an eBay specifically for watches. So it shows that there is a bright future for watch industry and for sort of watch collecting as a hobby, and it's becoming more and more mainstream. Those were the watch releases and the news for this week. Thanks for watching this video all the way until the end. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about these releases. What do you think about Cristiano Ronaldo investing into Chrono 24? Is that a big deal? Is it not? I always enjoy reading your comments. Thanks for watching this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.